plantations throughout the nation and promote agro schemes to position Ghana prominently in the global palm oil market. We are also looking at other industrial crop initiatives, foster the cultivation and processing of additional industrial crops, and provide insurance coverage. Distinguished members of the press, as we embark on this journey, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will lead the implementation of the Feed Ghana program in collaboration with other ministries such as Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Finance, Local Government, Parliament, Local Government Service, other departments and agencies, farmer organizations and private enterprises. The ministry will establish a national oversight committee to provide strategic direction and a technical implementation committee to offer essential technical support. These bodies will work in tandem to ensure the smooth execution of the program. The ministry will engage detailed program documentation and launch the Feed Ghana program, establishing the necessary structures for effective implementation. Together, we will forge a new path for Ghana's agriculture, a path that enhances food security, revitalizes our economy, and empowers our farmers. It is time to turn our rich agricultural potential into a reality, and we urge all Ghanaians to join hands in supporting this initiative as we collectively work towards a prosperous and food secure Ghana. And so what we expect from the media after this engagement is to join the campaign. The campaign is the Feed Ghana campaign. We want every Ghanaian household under this program to have a home garden. Journalists, before leaving your house, make sure you have a small garden from where you can have some pepper, some tomato, some onion, to reduce the cost of feeding in the house. It will enable you to make some savings. Fortunately, Ghana is blessed with abundant agricultural land. We have water, we have cheap labor, we have everything it takes to use agriculture as the engine for economic transformation. So we want every Ghanaian, wherever you are in this country, to have your own garden in the house. Small garden. It can be at the back of the building or in front. And then we are also urging all the secondary schools in this country to also have school farms. The school feeding is encountering a lot of challenges. We have heard the media reporting that some of the schools are not getting food, and the students are crying, no food, no food, no food. Can we take advantage of the fertile soil around us to produce something at the school level to supplement the school feeding program? The Ministry of Food and Agriculture is ever prepared to support institutional farming with all the inputs that they need. And so we are urging all our schools to be on board. Then we are also asking the assembly, the district assemblies, the district municipal and the metropolitan assemblies to be part of this program. Because under the law, they also have the power to generate their own revenue. We want them to use agriculture as a conduit for revenue generation. We have already instructed all the district agricultural officers to work together with the district assemblies, advise them on the specific crops that can do very well in the various assemblies, and then support them to also have their farms. Then you also agree with us that in Ghana, we have more churches than schools. If the people are hungry, can you minister unto them the word of God? And so we are urging the churches to also go into farming. We cannot understand why, in spite of our agricultural potentials, our country is still spending a whopping $400 million annually to import tomato from Burkina Faso. If Burkina Faso can do it, why is it that Ghana cannot do it? We spend $24 million annually to import onion from Niger. If Niger can produce onion, why is it that we cannot do it in Ghana? It can be done. And for us to change the narrative, we want everybody to be on board. National Service, we have signed an MOU with them. They are part of the process. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to engage with Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. They have also expressed interest in participating in the Feed Ghana program. And so we want everybody, wherever you are located, let us together take advantage of the rich soil of our country to drive Ghana towards food sufficiency and to also feed the agro-industries of our country as a means of generating jobs for the people of Ghana. This is to invite our friends from the media, our partners in the media, to join hands with us in the campaign for this Feed Ghana program to be very, very effective and make the desired impact. Then again, we want to see on your stations discussions everywhere. We want the Feed Ghana campaign to dominate all discussions so that every Ghanaian will hear about it and then participate in it. We are looking at 2 seasons. The major season in the southern sector, which is starting this month. In fact, it started in March, and we are still in the season. That's the southern sector of Ghana. They are starting their farming activities now. So if you are in the southern sector, start now. And then if you are in the northern sector, the season will start in May. So we are preparing for the northern sector as well. So we want the campaign to start immediately so that those in the southern sector can commence their farming activities and then ensure that we all deliver prosperity to Ghanaians together. We don't want anybody to sit on the fence and later blame the minister that, oh, the Minister of Food and Agriculture and his deputy didn't do well. They should have worked to ensure that Ghana produces food in abundance. What we have to do is to rally the people behind the strategies, and we cannot do it alone. We need the media to support us. So all of us have a responsibility to ensure that this is drunk to every Ghanaian, wherever you are. It should be the chorus, so that everybody will hear of it and the right thing is done. On this note, we thank you very much for attending upon us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for reminding us to participate, institutions, the media, while we communicate the policy for Ghanaians to participate. First and foremost, we are Ghanaians, and we need to start it. We will open the floor.
No, let's do the tree.
The tree. Okay. Oh, okay.
Let's finish with the tree.
Joy. You don't want tree.
Yo, I was your friend say, your friend will be here. And you take it. Yeah, man, says you have a big how we be. Now, yeah, how look as your parents say. Nyame actually or their mind, but boy, you create many now. You dream for any Juma, and my create one in Yampin, so I pay. You say Ghana, it is this year. Say, you better there, just your cram, just your crack, Tosi, just your crack Jenny, just your crack Mako, any new man to get here yet now. Now, I also say, get a Ghana hand your cram Tosi from Burkina Faso. It is a car, and you're here in Yuma woman. You're the best of $400 million near the Akokra. It was a free Burkina Faso. Now, Burkina Faso, for when you study a young money, now you're your home tree. They are also your credit, dear crab, Makokra, the Bagana. And you are near your problem. So, yeah, say war, in Sia war, and Nipa Ebu Faswa. And Nipa say, na your mind, echo. And you say, yes, a son. na nneɛma a yɛde gu akwan so no ɛne sɛ Ghana mampanyini ɔde asi n'ani so sɛ ɔde agriculture ɛbɛdane ɔman ama ɔman no yiedie agyina brane na sɛnea ɔbɛyɛ no nie ɔpɛ sɛ obiara wɔ man mu biara no wode wo ho gye kuadwuma no bi sɛ nti ne sɛ nyame akyɛ yɛn ho adeɛ bi obiara bɛtumi ayɛ bi nti program a yɛde asi ani so a bɛma yɛnya kuadwuma no ayɛ ɔman yie no yɛfrɛ no Feed Ghana na Feed Ghana yi ɛte sɛ nea ɛberɛ bi ɔmampanyini ɛchampɔn de baa na ɔfrɛ no operation feed yourself no saa na Feed Ghana yi ɛteɛ na ɛnsesa kakra ɛna ɛwɔ mu na Feed Ghana ne sɛ obi biara a wɔ man mu biara no sɛ wɔ fie nko a wɔ fie ti mu a ɛwɔ sɛ wonya garden kakra bi a womfikyire hɔ a wobɛnya nneɛma kakra firi mu a ɛbɛma nneɛma a wotɔ bɛdi ne fie no ɛso ayɛ dɛ ate woduru cantonment ɛkɔ American embassy hɔ a ɛm sɛ ɔmayɛ gated community bi ɛwɔ hɔ na nsa no mekɔsra obi obikoduru hɔ a bɔɔdeɛ ne adua no hɔ apem ayɛ akɛseɛ sei na sɛ Ghana ha deɛ baabi a wodua bɛyɛ dɛ ɛbɛyɛ yie ade eti ne yɛde nsa agu yɛn ho na afei ɛkɔm so ɛde yɛn na sika a nka yɛde bɛyɛ ɔman no yie no yɛde kra nnuane ɛne nneɛma ɛne ba ɔman mu enti yɛsɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ mo deɛ mo wɔ nim de mo hunu ka da biara mo mma kɔm no yɛ ansa mo aka mo nso mo nyinaa mo nya garden mo fie yɛn nyinaa yɛ bi enti mo nso mo nya garden na mo nua aduane ɔma nketenkete anka mako ne ntosi ambɛtɔ na bɔnten no obiara bɛnya bi ɛwɔ no hɔ afei yɛsɛ yɛ secondary schools no so wɔn de yɛ school feeding wɔn yɛ bi even basic schools primary DHS for communities no wura bɛtwe aboɔ wɔn nyinaa ayɛ mfuo no bi because ma visit school bi a ɛyɛ school feeding aban deɛ wɔn ka ho ma community na dɔfuo ɛde ama school na wɔn de yɛ feeding no de feed wɔn nkɔfo a wɔn aduane ne size no ɛne school feeding deɛ no nkɔ wɔn de nya na kɛse because wɔn nya wɔn aduane na ɛde yɛ sɛ school bi a wɔ Ghana bi a adeɛ wɔyɛ saa Feed Ghana ni bi eti school no asase ɔwɔ no wodi bi do afuo na Ministry of Food and Agriculture school no we be register na yamao seed a wodi be dua yɛ papa na afi yamao fertilizer a wodi be yɛ adwuma no afi extension officers nso a ɛbɛhwɛ wɔfuo na mawo ama watimi ayɛ de kama no yɛde saa extension officers nso bɛyɛ dɛ ɛbɛba hɔ ɛde abɛboa afi ɛno akyi no yɛhu sɛ ɔman mu asɔre bebree ɛna ɛwɔ ha sei nyame anum no kure ni sɛ kɔm de nkɔfo a wodi bɔ mo kɔtra so dem sɛ yɛkɔka nyame asɛm ana yɛkɔto collection ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmanfoɔ no so enya aduane di enti yɛsrɛ asɔre no nyinaa sɛ ɔmo nyinaa nso ka yɛ ho na ɔmo nso fa kuadwuma no bi na yɛ nyinaa nyɛ kuadwuma sɛ bɛyɛ a aduane bɛyɛ dɛ ɛbɛbuo saa nso na district assembly no mmara ma ɔmo kwan sɛ ɔmo nso mpɛ sika wɔ ɔmo akwan bɛfa so a ɔmo bɛnya sika at the local level no yɛn nso sua de ma assembly so nyinaa sɛ assembly bi afa no hyɛ kuadwuma no mu na ɔmo fa kuadwuma no nso generate revenue ɔmo fa nya sika a ɔmo betumi de ayɛ ɔmo nnwuma no ama ayɛ yie enti yɛne institution bebree ahyia prison service yɛka sɛ yɛne ɔmo asan MOU awie Ghana prison service so ɛyɛ Feed Ghana ne bi dendenden a nyame yɛ akoma ɛyɛ lunch a ɔmampanyini John Dramani Mahama ɔbɛ lunch no wɔ Tachiman ɛyɛ fiada ɛbɛn na wɔtwe 11th April 2025 no ɛwɔ Tachiman no prison for ho hyɛ national service for ho hyɛ ɛne wɔn a ɛyɛ bi ho nyinaa hyɛ no yɛne nyinaa ɛbɛto dwa yɛne asɔrasɔrfoɔ no bi ahyia ama yɛkasa wɔn de nkrataa akɔ wɔn branches no nyinaa akyerɛ branch biara nnɔbaeɛ a wɔn nnua a wɔn nso de wɔn ho ahyɛ mu kama yɛn pɛ sɛ asɔre biara bɛtena sɛ wɔn de wɔn paadɔ na ɛkɔmɔkum ne manfoɔ wɔn nyinaa mmra on board na yɛn nyinaa yɛntumi ɛnyɛ na ɛnyɛ kama nti nea yɛsrɛ afiri media no hɔ ne sɛ asɛmpapa a ti sɛ yie yɛn kwan ɛbɔ ho dawura a ɛnyɛ yie yɛhia yɛ media no mo na mo kasa a ɛkɔ akyiri sɛ ɛkɔm ba a ɛka yɛn nyinaa ba mo bɛtumi de mo fidie no so aboa yɛ dawubɔ no titiriw saa bere yɛ wɔ mu yi ɛyɛ saa bere na southern sector of Ghana no wɔn hyɛ adɔnase obiara dɔ nafuo nti saa bere wɔn a ɛwɔ southern sector no yɛboaboa ɛwɔn ministry no yɛde seed ɛkɔ support wɔn yɛde fertilizer kakra nso ɛkɔ a wɔn bɛnya bi ɛde ayɛ mfuo no yɛma extension officers so ɛkɔ fam more sɛ bɛyɛ adodoɔ no nyinaa wɔn bɛtumi aboɔ ma mfudie no akɔ so kama In the Sabre, any person that will know, a course of Cassia, Sabaya, woman walk southern sector, Ashanti region, Brownful, Tete Brownful, Central, Eastern, no one can Kahunina, Ubia Batini, not or didn't want to share with a human. In fact, Yana one said, oh, now do Brono Babia. Over plot, building plot will be at the other home. And the Jana Yura. And our one in the Musa, a month for. Yabes said, plot to be a double baby, said Biano. Yan no so, Nayafa, a Bianica Crania day, is so. Yet the Bordiaca Cresiso, Banjica Cresiswa, Cacra crown, Mamma, a Bianino boo, a piano boo, Naya four, or Mamma Bia, Crom Harrow, a Fesica crowd, Benano, waiting Yaya, Abiama Ede, Aye. And to not in your friend, Yamiano Central for say, and no way, anyone a yard, a baby. Devil way there, in Yasi and Munina Ede, Ebo. No one said, Tredia Poya, na if you are now, if you do your share to Chimaya, Ghana Mampany, or the moon summer who go in a Ebetuga, and in your market, see a woman, Yabe, including a book to get your Munina per once, I day at tea, and in your mark, I can in Sunday Baya or May Ebedi. She a friend said, yes, Ramona. Some boya, Saka pay with a begoy. Now, your technical team, your design logo, and your BBR come up. Yes, BBR said, your baby, BBR Fabian, be able to get just and the now BBR baby, a Munia technical team now. Almost by Baba come home, our studio, now only much church, now you be home como, send your Baya, Ghana, you know, ever D como, ever feed Ghana. Yeah, but so be our Ghana be a can feed Ghana nibi. Sabaya Chabi, so be now also come down to be on the way or a quite before. Because I can't say you'll be a meal, will be a meal, when we have been in a headache, a come dinner. But you say, yeah, I bet my in I smart me. Now I feel a man a hot on a day, Abba, and no auntie, and your friend, Yadamas.
We're hoping we'll take about 3, we'll get a response, we'll take another 3 in that order. Please, you kindly introduce yourself, your media outlet.
Thank you very much. My name is Edward Apa with the Ghana News Agency. So I'm very much interested in the C specialized land extension officers and other essential inputs to be given to those who are interested. We all know what has been happening in the past. How easy will it be for any individual to access these essential services, or what will be the modality to ensure that anybody who wants this can access it?
Second question.
I want to find out, this is a very loud program that is going on. Is it coming to replace the already existing planting for food? So I know that those structures are there. Again, I want to find out what you have told us about the kind of institutional support that the going to provide. What happens to individuals who also intends to donate?
Third question, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Musa Lance. I work with Channel 247. One of the things I paid attention to had to do with the seasons. For instance, the northern part of Ghana, we have just one season. But prior to 2016, there was a program that was introduced, the Ghana Social Opportunities Program, where communities were helped to construct mini irrigation dams. Will the ministry consider introducing that program again, such that we don't solely depend on the rains up north for such a policy?
So let me answer the 4 questions before we proceed. The first one has to do with access to inputs. Yes, we are all aware of the fact that distribution of agricultural inputs has been a big incubus in our country. Many of our farmers go through an ordeal before accessing some of these inputs. And so the strategy we have is that we want to establish what we call the farmer service centers in all the agricultural districts. These centers will serve as one-stop shop for all the farmers within the districts, so that when you go to the center, you can have access to agricultural mechanization. You can have access to agricultural input in the form of seed, fertilizer, extension officers, and then whatever, training and whatever. So you can just place a call to the center that I'm on my farm. I've noticed something unusual. I need extension officers to come and assist me. Because they have their motorbikes ready, they will just be on it, and within a short time, they will be with you on the farm. This is the essence of the farmers service centers that we are constructing across the country. And so that one, this is to cure that particular, challenge. And then, is it to replace the PFD? Honorable, you know that after 7 years of the implementation of the PFD, the Planting for Food and Jobs program, we were told that there was the need for it to be reviewed. And in fact, there was PFJ number 2. Number 2 was to replace the PFJ 1, which was implemented within a period of 7 years. And then, during the implementation of number 2, we had a dry spell in the north. And so we are now assessing the impact and the effectiveness of the PFJ 2. But what we are saying that we have come with what we call the Feed Ghana program. If there are structures of PFJ on the field, we have to use those structures for the actualization of the agenda, because it is all meant to achieve the best for our country. Except that the originators of the PFJ themselves wanted a review, and we think that this is the most appropriate program to deliver onto the mandate. Then, individual support under the Feed Ghana program. When you go to the service center and you want mechanization, tractors are there, combine harvesters, all the equipment that you require. We understand that in Ghana, when you look at the farmer population, the small farm holders constitute about 90%. And so the tractors we are bringing in include mini tractors, mini combine harvesters that can be affordable to the small farm holders. Even if they go to the centers and they don't have money, the arrangement is that they can ask for the services, get the services, and when they harvest their produce, they go and pay. We are urging all the farmers to form what we call cooperatives. And these cooperatives will be registered under the center. So if we're a farmer in a district and we're a member of the cooperative, you'll be known, the records will be there. Very soon, we are going to launch a system here. Under that system, we have all the farmers in the country registered. And wherever you are, so long as you are on our system, you can be located. And so, as for this one, we are not going to have problems at all. What is most important is to have the connections so that we can interact and then give you the understanding of the issue that you want. And then on the issue of irrigation, yes, it is very critical. Quite recently, we launched what we call irrigation for wealth creation here in this hall. You see, Ghana is blessed with arable land or irrigable land, estimated at 1.9 million hectares. But we are told that just around 5% of the irrigable land is under irrigation. We have taken inventory of all the irrigation infrastructure across the country. And we have realized that more than half of the irrigation facilities we have are operating under capacity. So we are looking for funds to rehabilitate the existing ones while we bring on board new ones. It is our target to do 25,000 hectares of land under irrigation every year. If we are able to do that within the 4 years, we are likely to do 100,000 hectares of land under irrigation. If we have 100,000 under irrigation, and you can do production all year round, Ghana will attain food sufficiency without any minimum. And so irrigation is key. You know, we have also launched the 24-hour economy. And as part of the program, agro-processors will also have to run 24 hours. They can only do that if agriculture, that is supposed to provide the raw material, is able to do all year round production. And that is why we are saying that irrigation is key. We want to mitigate the impact of climate change by providing irrigation infrastructure. And so there's a specific program under irrigation, and very soon you'll hear from us. Then the 5th question. Yes, Nana?
Yes, you can. Set in your kind of one book now, your for Magana, and will be a good and maybe a film, NBC, the film choir, and a free fertilizer bag. Yet your member. And it is a or then MVP, position say, what they want party members. And people should buy planting for food and jobs. And also, a population says, oh, with a party card, is and yes, she shares for more. And I will never say, you have 1 month for more service and a papa you want. And where's a party card and now we do a party chairman. Once was a chairman. Obey one, set garden, you have gone for your party needs to do.
Yes, sir.
Please introduce yourself, your media outlet.
Honorable, so while I was entering this office, I saw this big banner there, and the tag in terms of how much food we have in the country. For poultry, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw 15,000 metric tons. And then the target is to raise by 2023, just next year, well over 100,000 metric tons.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard any of those targets that I can hold you to a year down the line from today. So what are the targets of this project that you are seeking to launch in a few days' time? By the end of the year 2025, how much metric tons should have added to our food production in the country? That's the first one. Again, for the schools that you mentioned and the churches, which I think are institutions you want to work with, what are the targets again under that project? How many of them are going to enroll onto this project, say by the end of this year? Particularly for the schools, my final question will be that, I mean, when people used to go to school, or the older people say, you were working at the farms. Some of those things have not been outlawed. What is the infrastructure, what is the law at the school level for them to enroll? Are you going to want the schools to say hire laborers, or you are going to ask the schools to use the students to do these farms on the schools? In many schools that still have farms, that students are the ones who have to work on them. You know that you have to sacrifice their class to be there. So these are just the questions that I have.
Please come.
Yeah, good afternoon, Honorable Minister, Dr. Kuku. I have 3 questions for 2 or 3.
Please, your name and your media
My
outlet.
name is Nana Kuku from Daily Sexualized Newspaper. What role would the private sector play in this gargantuan policy? Because people are going to launch on it, because it's going to involve the whole country. So what role, what blueprint do you have for the private sector who want to get involved in some of these things? My second question, you cannot do a great and insulate it from infrastructure development, roads, markets, warehouses, what have you. So what is the grand plan, as it were, to make sure that before this program succeeds, some of these things must be made in place? And if you can, there was a dry spell previously, about 6 months ago, when the ministry was talking about helping people who are affected by the dry spell. What has happened so far? What the status of dry spell? Have people benefited from the incentive the government wants to give them, those who were handicapped? What has happened to them so far? Thank you very much.
One more and then we will. Okay, the Honorable Minister will respond.
Now,
I believe after this will be done.
Yes.
Or
the first one has to do with politicization of agricultural distribution of agricultural inputs. If we repeat the same thing, okay. Second pass, yeah, Feed Ghana program. Now you say this is how you end this in one, you remember fertilizer there, and you're not resource in Yan Canada and one even. See, if I see a changing resource on there, I'll see a be differently. Now, a common bar, a common name MPP, and one name NDC, a Bama Ghana for you now. And the bar agriculture say you be a near. The Nini said, you're the party, some common, in fact, on my day, Democracy Party, some crowd by him. I will brown me a party, some. ɛna ɛwɔ brɛ nso a ɔmo dwene ɔmo man ɛyie dio nti yɛbɛsrɛ mo sɛ deɛ yɛpɛ si yɛyie yɛpɛ si yɛn sɛ obi biara a ɔyɛ kuani anaa wɔdagye so bɛyɛ kuadwuma no support a ɔsɛ yɛde ma no biara no yɛbɛma na party sɛ biara nyɛ dɛ ɛnim sɛ ɔyɛ ndc ni na ɔyɛ kuani a ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ kua na ne yɛ support no a yɛbɛ support no wɔyɛ npp ni na ɔyɛ kua ɛne yɛsɛ yɛ support no a yɛbɛ support no na maame nkyerɛ mu kakra yɛni fertilizer a yɛde ma akuafoɔ no firi sɛdeɛ wɔka no yɛwɔ cocoa fertilizer a ne yɛde ma cocoa akuafoɔ no firi ɛno deɛ nti yɛde ma cocoa akuafoɔ no firi ne sɛ cocoa sika no a yɛkɔgye no a yɛde bɛtɔ cocoa no yɛte bi na yɛde akɔtɔ fertilizer no sɛ yɛamfa saa sika no ankɔtɔ a kɛbɛsa akɔka cocoa akuani ne sika ho ɛnti sɛ yɛde kɔtɔ deɛ a na yɛn nso sɛ nikɔ ase yɛsan tɔn yɛ dɛ ɛma ne bio ɛna na yɛde ma akuani no firi fertilizer yɛde ma wɔn adua mo aburo ne adeɛ nyinaa de aban yɛ no sɛ aban tua boɔ no bi na ayɛfoɔ ama akuafoɔ no sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ akuafoɔ no bɛtumi ayɛ dɛ atua na wohwɛ a last year deɛ ministry no yɛ ne sɛ wɔn pɛ ankorankoro bi a yɛfrɛ wɔn anchor farmers ɛyɛ farmers a wɔn wɔ dɔm dodoɔ no ɛwɔ wɔn akyi ɛna wɔn de fertilizer no ma wɔn sɛ wɔmfa ma akuafoɔ no na wɔn nnua na wɔn wie a nneɛma a wɔn bɛtwa no na yɛagye nneɛma no bi na yɛde atua ɛka no bi sɛ bɛyɛ a deɛ ɔnya sika ntua biara no ɔbɛnya bi akɔ last 2 weeks yɛfrɛ anchor farmers no nyinaa meeting wɔ ha ɛne yɛsɛ mɔwie afe no adwuma nyinaa obiara mu nkonto anyɛ dɛ ɛnkyerɛ yɛ fertilizer ne nneɛma a seed a ministry de maa mo ɛkɔ abɔnten no mode ma akuafoɔ wie momfa ho nkonto anyɛ dɛ ɛnkyerɛ yɛ obi si mi deɛ mɛnya hwee anyɛ ama obiara so ntua obiara so ntua obiara so ntua enti deɛ kɔɔ last year ne nyinaa no yɛnya aburo bag koraa anyɛ dɛ ɛmfiri this year yɛnya nwie yɛ farmers centers no deɛ yɛyɛ ne sɛ yɛ identify agent ɛyɛ wɔn a ebetumi handle fertilizer no ama yɛn na wɔn wɔ wɔn shop dada a akuafoɔ nim sɛ shop a yɛpɛki fertilizer free no enie na yɛde fertilizer no akɔma wɔn wɔ hɔ no na farmers no kɔ a farmers no tua subsidy kakra na wɔn tua wɔn de akɔm tua na wɔn agye na aban tua subsidy no ɛde asɔ so ma yɛ deɛ ne sɛ bɛyɛ fertilizer bi a bɛfiri office ha biara no ɛbɛkɔ kuani no hɔ direct biara district biara yɛwɔ bia na ɛfɔ hɔ yɛwɔ security services nyinaa wɔ hɔ no yɛde wɔn nyinaa bɛbata ho yɛde allocation ne ba no ne yɛde nkrataa ama security foɔ nyinaa sɛ wɔn follow nyɛ dɛ ɛma yɛn sɛ bɛyɛ yɛbɛ make sure sɛ fertilizer bag bi a ɛbɛkɔ fam hɔ biara no ɛbɛkɔ akɔdua aduane na yɛ problem wɔ Ghana ha ne sɛ wo a woka sɛ yi sɛ wɔn nso obi de fertilizer no ɛkɔ country bi so akɔtɔn a wobɛhwɛ ne din no aka tena fidie so aka sɛ ayifoɔ wi akɔɛ ba owi akɔɛ no mene nyinaa sika no wɔde kɔɛ because taxes kakra yɛtua no ebiara ne yɛde tɔ fertilizer no sɛ yɛboa ma ne nyinaa kɔ kua adwuma no mu ɛna aduane no bu yɛ a sɛ nka obiara ho bɛtɔ no ama obiara aka sɛ ɔman no nso ayɛ dɛn agyina yie ɛnti yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ yɛbɛyɛ afam deɛ biara na meka no ha sɛ ɛyɛ party sɛ mo a yɛde bɛkɔ party headquarters no makyɛ but the free ministry ha deɛ a public office ɛyɛ ɔman bɛ biara deɛ a yɛyɛ sɛ bɛyɛ a ɛbɛma ɔman no agyina kama ti na ɔman panyin sɛ ɛyɛ 11th ɔno akɔgyina simply so wɔtakyi man na wabɔ ho dawuro na wapa ho ntoma na ama nipa dodoɔ nyinaa nso atumi ayɛ bi na takyi man no nyɛ no nko ara na ɔbɛyɛ no hɔ yasa de investors ahodoɔ mmienu akɛseɛ mmienu aba adwuma a wɔn bɛdi ne adwuma kɛseɛ wɔ agriculture mu saa adwuma kɛseɛ no nyinaa ɔman panyin wie lunch na ɔbɛsan pa ho ntoma ɛwɔ takyi man hɔ a ansa na efi hɔ ayɛ dɛ ɛde aba na wɔtie ne kasa da bi a ɔka agri business sɛ ɔba ɔman mu sɛ ɔbɛtɔ nneɛma no raw materials de akɔ deɛ a ɛne ɛyɛ new wo tax abɛtua bɛyɛ kɛse na mu sɛ ɔso bɛ process wɔ ha deɛ a yɛbɛboa mo atumi ayɛ dɛ a process nti wɔyɛ processes ɔmo bɛhwɛ production asan process ɛna ɔman panyin bɛsan pa ɔmo deɛ no ho ntoma ɛwɔ takyi man na ɛnna edidi soɔ no so bebree wɔ akyire a yɛbɛsan yɛ ato aso afei the other person talk about project targets. Yes, you cited the example of the poultry subsector. I agree 100% with you. We are told that our national poultry demand for 2022 was estimated around 324,000 tons of poultry products. But production was just 15,000, which was 4.6% of our total consumption. So we imported more poultry subsector. The Nkukom Kitchen is to stimulate interest of individuals wherever you are located in the project. But apart from that, we have taken inventory of all the poultry farmers across the country. And this year, we intend to support about 50 to 100 of them. 50 to 100 of them. Each of them will be given not less than 80,000 bears with other facilities and small plants for processing. So it's a comprehensive program. And I didn't want to go into details because everything will be done on the 11th by His Excellency, just to give you the tidbits so that you can run with it. And then you also talk about churches, schools, and then students, whether we are going to use laborers or students. First, we want to make sure that students participate in the farming activities. For two good reasons. One, farming is a very lucrative business, but people in Africa and Ghana, and so it's a good thing. Then again, where they don't have the capacity, and we think that they will need the support of some laborers, with the given resources, we can support them. Then you ask of the private sector involvement.
The question I asked was targets. So how many schools?
Oh yeah, okay.
And homes? Yes,
In fact, we want our target is that this is not something that should be limited to some people, whilst others cannot participate. If we're a secondary school and you have land, you should be part of it. So we have had discussions with the Ministry of Education, and they have communicated to all the secondary schools in Ghana and the basic schools for them to participate. Unless the school doesn't have land or whatever to be part of it, we want everybody to be on board, including you journalists, including you. At the back of the compound house, there's a space there. So do something. Then the private sector. You know, one challenge we want to solve is the marketing. Now we have had discussions with some private sector players, and they have also decided to be part of the Feed Ghana program. They are also going into agriculture. Some of them are going into the production of rice. We are even bringing in some investors. They are partnering Ghanaians to go into 10,000 hectares of cocoa production. And they are saying that they are producing, they will also establish a processing plant to add value before they export. So we are in touch with the private sector in the production as well as the marketing. But the most important point we want them to be part is the marketing aspect. Because when you go to Kanoso in the Techiman area, Ofumai in the same area, Tiobodom in that area, they produce a lot of tomatoes. Yeah. When you interact with the farmers, their complaint is that they are not getting markets. So when they produce in abundance, because tomatoes are perishable, within a short time, everything goes waste, they don't get anything. So is it possible we can do something to secure market for them? We said, yes, we can do that for you. So in the short term, what we have done is that we have had discussions with some tomato factories in Tema here. According to them, they have the capacity to process 60,000 tons annually, but they are also not getting the tomatoes. So we asked them, how do you connect to these production enclaves so that you can provide ready market for the farmers and then also transport everything to the main factory for the secondary processing? So we suggested to them, can you deploy some mini processing plants to these production enclaves? They said yes. So now what they are going to do is to send mini processing plants to these production enclaves. So you go to Ofuman, they will see small processing plant there that will serve as ready market for all tomato producers. This will minimize food losses. As soon as you produce, they will buy it there. They will do what we call the primary processing and then move everything to the main factory for the secondary processing to take place. This is a short-term measure. As we expand production, we look at the enclaves and then we partner with the private sector to move their businesses to these enclaves in order to maximize our profit. So it is something we are looking at. Then somebody talked about agricultural infrastructure. Yes, that is very key to agricultural development. I've already spoken about irrigation. That's one of the agricultural infrastructure. Storage facilities. Yesterday, we completed our discussions with Ghana Buffer Stock. Buffer Stock. You know, they have the mandate to step into the market to buy the excess produce over demand. When we produce in excess of our demand, prices will fall significantly, and then farmers will be demoralized. They will not be able to recoup their investment. So Buffer Stock will step in terms of bumper harvest, buy the excess, store them, and then release in the lean season. So this year, for the first time in the history of this country, we are making money available to Buffer Stock for them to maintain food buffer for this nation, so that we have food in stores against emergencies. So when there is an emergence of any emergency situation, Ghanaians will not be edgy as we were when the dry spell emerged. We are going to have food buffer to fall on in times of emergency. So Buffer Stock will be in there to also buy food. But to be able to do that, they will need space, and that comes to your storage. So we are giving them resources to rehabilitate existing silos and then warehouses, and to also put up new ones, prefab ones, at strategic points, so that the bumper harvest that we anticipate, we can have space to store some of them. Then you also spoke about roads, very critical, because most of our farmers do their production in the remotest part of the country. So you go to the hinterlands, you see food in abundance, but the difficulty is how to cut the food to the urban communities where demand will be very high. And if the road is not in good shape, certainly they will have a lot of challenges. So we have also met with the Ministry of Highways, and we have identified critical agricultural roads for construction. Critical agricultural roads for construction. So all these roads are going to be motorable within the shortest possible time, so that wherever you are, once you produce, you can have easy access to the market around. So I think that answers your question. And the dry spell, you said?
You want to know the status so far?
The status?
Yeah.
But the dry spell is gone now.
So
It's okay.
farmers who were put on that business, have they been compensated adequately?
As for adequate compensation, I will say no. But some support was made available to the farmers. But as for adequate compensation, somebody invested, let's say 50,000 in his or her farming activities. The only thing government could do at the time was to offer him some kind of support, totaling about, let's say, 5,000 or 6,000. That can never be adequate. So we are looking at what we can do going into the future. When something similar happens, how do we adequately compensate our farmers? It's all about how we can mobilize enough resources to be able to do those things.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think we are done for now, except if we want some exclusives. So on that note, I'll invite the Honorable Deputy Minister if he has
Well, we
any.
want to have assurance with our colleagues that once they have been here with us and having listened to us and then pose questions to us, they are also assuring us of their commitment to be part of the campaign. It's so important.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Okay, so
So Honorable Deputy Minister, a word of gratitude to your media.
So we want to say a big thank you to everyone for coming. And as you heard from the Honorable Minister, we are grateful for you coming, and also we all entreat you to join. Let's feed ourselves, let's feed the industry, and let's export the excess, and let's make Ghana a better place. So thank you so much for coming, and God bless you.
So we are done.
That's what I sent you. I sent some video to you. Yes. When there's no land, we can grow in sacks. Specific on that. And then I said we should also include okra and cocoyam.
Yes, yes.
But he's protesting that, so I told him I'll send it
I was saying to uploading me within the market. Thanks to Good Quest Media. Yeah, I really appreciate your comments and each and everybody that watched this video. See you guys in the next video.